Marcus Turner is a man who has it all: wealth, power, and a picture-perfect family. At just 40, he has built a tech empire from scratch, his name synonymous with innovation and success. His penthouse in the Heights is a testament to his accomplishments, a fortress overlooking the city, filled with polished marble, exquisite art, and state-of-the-art security. But beyond the gilded exterior, Marcus is a man who values control above all else. It is this need for control that leads him to Jade Blackwell, a former model of striking beauty and iron will. She rises from obscurity, adapting gracefully to Marcus's high society world, becoming the envy of everyone who knows them. But perfection is a fragile illusion. Late nights turn into whispered arguments, and whispers turn into outright suspicion. Marcus, a man who thrives on certainty, begins to feel the ground beneath him shift. He can't pinpoint the source, but the cracks in his carefully constructed life are undeniable. And then there's Tyrone Wallace. Marcus's best friend since college, Tyrone has been a comfortable balance to Marcus's ambitious drive. For years, the friendship has worked until it doesn't. Tyrone grows restless, tired of standing in Marcus's shadow. What Marcus initially thought was his imagination soon became undeniable truth. A subtle touch between Jade and Tyrone, a laugh that lasted a second longer, sparked a suspicion that burned like wildfire. Marcus wasn't one to confront his enemies head-on. Instead, he hired a private investigator. The evidence came quickly and brutally: secret meetings, cryptic messages, and secret relationships. It wasn't just betrayal, it was a conspiracy. Jade and Tyrone weren't just in love, they were plotting something much darker. Marcus, a man of strategy, made his decision. He rewrote his will, cutting out Jade entirely, leaving his fortune to their young son, Liam, with a trusted confidant as executor. He knew what he had to do, but so did Jade. Jade was not unwittingly aware of Marcus's actions. One misstep, a hastily closed laptop, a partially concealed document, had alerted her. And as she pieced them together, her rage exploded. Jade had sacrificed everything for this life. She would not let Marcus tear it apart. In Tyrone, she had found an ally. Before, their relationship had been exciting, a shared rebellion against Marcus's control. Now, it was fueled by resentment. Jade, the mastermind, painted a grim picture for Tyrone. Marcus had planned their downfall. They had no choice but to strike first. But Marcus was always 2 steps ahead. Hidden cameras in his penthouse, bugs in their hotel room, he had recorded everything. Jade and Tyrone had no idea that every whispered plot, every plan for his downfall, was being recorded. As night falls, Jade's plan is as cold as his own, an overdose staged to look like an accident. Tyrone hesitates, his loyalty to Jade struggling with the weight of what they're about to do. But Jade has completely captivated Tyrone, and his resolve wavers. Marcus, however, is ready. He lets them believe they have the upper hand, remaining calm even as Jade approaches him with a drugged drink. His last words to her before passing out are chilling: "You were never the only one with secrets." News of Marcus Turner's death has rocked the city. To the public, it seems like a tragic accident, a workaholic succumbing to stress and excess. But the wheels of justice turn quickly. Marcus has left behind a web of traps that Jade and Tyrone cannot see until it's too late. Within days, the authorities have uncovered incriminating evidence. The new will reveals that Marcus had foreseen his own death, leaving Jade an untouchable fortune. And then there was the footage. Hidden cameras had recorded it all: the poisoned drinks, the staged overdoses, the whispered threats. Jade's carefully orchestrated life had collapsed under the weight of the incontrovertible evidence. The trial had captivated the nation. Jade, the glamorous woman, faced the cold gaze of the cameras as prosecutors revealed Marcus's final act: a thumb drive containing hours of recordings, letters, and a haunting video sent directly to her. "If you're watching this, Jade," Marcus said, his voice calm and measured, "I'm leaving. But you should know, I was watching. You never had a chance. Tyrone had collapsed under the pressure, his guilt surging in a desperate attempt to reduce his sentence. But the evidence was insurmountable. Jade and Tyrone were convicted of first-degree murder, their sentences ensuring they would spend the rest of their lives in prison. Jade quickly adjusts to life in prison, using her cunning to carve out a position of influence. But Marcus's haunting ghost still looms over her every day. His last words echo in her mind, his face appears in her dreams. And then, strange things begin to happen. Objects in her cell move without explanation. At night, the knocking on her door returns, rhythmic and frantic. Marcus's diary, smuggled in by a former ally, contains a final message. Look where it all started, Jade. You'll find me there. Jade's paranoia grows, but she can't shake the feeling that Marcus's plan isn't complete. Desperation drives her to escape, taking her back to the abandoned warehouse where Marcus's empire began. There, she discovers one final trap, a flash drive containing evidence that will expose her crimes to the world. As police sirens sound, Jade is left with one final choice: destroy the evidence and risk everything, or let the world see the truth. Marcus Turner's genius lies not in his wealth or power, but in his ability to outsmart even those closest to him. Ultimately, Jade Blackwell's downfall is not just betrayal or ambition, but underestimating the man she thought she could control. This is the story of a woman destroyed by her own greed and a man whose legacy lives on beyond death. Jade Blackwell's life has been reduced to a single, suffocating truth: she will never escape Marcus Turner. Even as the outside world moved on, as her name faded from the headlines and new scandals engulfed the country, Marcus's shadow lingered, haunting every corner of her mind. In prison, she had carved out a life of necessity, mastering the social hierarchy and using her cunning to maintain influence. But no power within those walls could silence the whispers. Marcus's final message, locked on a tiny flash drive, had given her a choice: freedom or destruction. Jade had gambled on destruction, hoping to gain control of her narrative by revealing the files herself. Yet even as she watched the headlines on every media outlet, Jade couldn't shake the feeling that she was still playing Marcus's game. The whispers continued, growing louder in her lonely moments. Sometimes she swore she could hear Marcus's voice, taunting her, reminding her of her failure. Sleep became a luxury she could no longer afford, her mind a battlefield where reality and paranoia blurred. One night, as the prison fell into an uneasy silence, Jade woke to find her cell door slightly ajar. She stiffened, her breath catching in her throat. The guards were meticulous, this couldn't be a mistake. She rose slowly from the bed, her bare feet silent on the cold concrete floor. The hallway was dark, but a faint sound drew her forward, a rhythmic, steady, deliberate knock. Jade followed the knock through the winding corridors of the prison, her pulse pounding in her chest. The knocking grew louder, leading her to an old, disused wing of the building. At the end of the hallway, a single light flickered above a storage room door. She pushed the door open, the hinges groaning in protest, and stepped inside. There, on a dusty table, was a small tape player. Its tape played slowly, filling the room with Marcus's voice. "I told you, Jade, you'd never escape me. And now, I'm all you have left." The flickering light went out, and Jade screamed.